our roan antelope. Now this is a bachelor herd. So a lot of bachelor herds that we're going to see on that side. They're comprised of all young males. And you can see those white and black face stripes that they have. They have a threat mask as well. Now on the right we do have the African forest. We've got some more roan antelope amongst these trees. That's going to be the female herd. So we got males on the left, females on the right, of course. And they are also going to have those horns and that threat mask to help them to compete for food in the areas that they live in. Keep looking to the left. Underneath this second palm tree, you're going to see just a little bits of horns poking up. So I'll pull forward slowly. Now I'm going to stop right here, and you guys can all stand if you want to see them because they're kind of tucked against the wall, so a little hard to see them. But underneath the palm tree are greater kudu, a type of forest antelope. So they have white stripes along their flanks, and look at those beautiful horns, how they're spiraling around. They're not done growing yet. They're going to spiral around again, and they're going to end up being the longest horn of any antelope species, over 3 feet long. So this is another bachelor herd. Young males form those herds because there's always safety in numbers, but they can also practice their fighting skills against each other as they grow up and create a hierarchy within it. And we do have the rest of the roan antelope bachelor herd out on the grassy hillside. So a lot of female herds and bachelor herds. We are one of the largest breeding facilities in the world. We can't just throw animals together willy-nilly. You gotta have a plan if you're gonna be a legitimate conservation organization. This is called a species survival plan. Every single species has their own unique plan because they have their own goals and needs. This is to make sure everything is being done above board and ethically, that you're partnered with other institutions, so that there's enough genetic diversity in all of the herds, and also that there is compatibility amongst the animals. Now one more bachelor herd directly down below us amongst the rocks, a bachelor herd of Grevy's zebras. Now the Grevy's are the largest species of zebras, as well as the ones with the thinnest stripes. They're also going to be the most endangered species of zebras. Now we've been learning a lot about the Africa savanna, but we've also got the Southwest on the right-hand side. This is a really great example of that. So we focus on coastal sage-grouse, one of the most endangered habitats in the U.S., found primarily here in Southern California. Less than 15% of the original habitat remains, and that's mainly due to urban development. And now Southern California is a really great place to live, but that means we have to take care of the environment and keep protected preserves and wildlife corridors that help facilitate movement of wildlife from canyon to canyon so they don't get stuck in one small area. And if you live locally, you can also help out by making sure your gardens are planted with native plants. It's going to save you a lot on your water bill, and it's also going to help out local flora and fauna. Now on the left, we've got Cape buffalo. Looks like they're on the move. And probably the most dangerous animal that you're going to be seeing along this tour. Everything. They basically are the bullies of the savannah. They don't want anyone getting too close to them. But they use a lot of different intimidation tactics such as mobbing, stomping their hooves in the ground, flipping rocks with their horns. They've even been known to flip lions straight into the air with those horns. And we were talking a little bit earlier about the dark coat color, how it actually stands out more to predators. It's impossible for them to camouflage with that really dark coat color. And it's also not the best idea if you live out in the hot savanna, so why have it? What's the purpose of it? Well, what it does is it helps to send a message. By standing out and not camouflaging, you're saying that you're dangerous and you don't need to camouflage. And that can also be used as intimidation to help keep predators and other animals away from them. Now, I was talking earlier a little bit about the southwest area. Take a look on the right. We've got a few ambassadors. These are mule deer, which are the local species of deer found here in San Diego. So it looks like we've got some does, some female deers. And now I do want to point out the tree that two of the deer are underneath. So it's called a red coral tree. And I've got another red coral tree for you guys on the left. It looks kind of like a bonsai tree. It's all curved. It's right down in the center of this valley, but it's closest to us with some rocks around it. But it's got the big broad leaves. Look at the height difference between the trees on either side of us. What caused it? Well, one of them, on the right, only has the occasional mule deer eating from it. The other one, on the left, has an 18-foot tall giraffe eating from it. And that's going to impact the height of those trees. Trees that grow in areas where the giraffes live are going to grow taller than those exact same trees that grow in areas where they do not live. And that's because those trees focus energy on growing upwards to escape the reach of the giraffes. They've actually grown taller on purpose because they don't want all of their leaves eaten. And this means that giraffes are architects of their environment. They can literally change the landscape just based on their feeding habits. Now, still on the left, towards the front of the tram, as we're coming around the corner, lying down in the grass right along the road are 4 little baby elands. So we've got the adults scattered around on the hillside, the large antelope with the tan fur and the horns. And then we've got 4 little babies. They've already got their little horns growing in. They're about 2 months old. So I'll pull forward slowly so you can all see them. But notice the babies are all grouped together, which is very common for antelope species. They create a little daycare system called a creche. And that makes it easier to keep an eye on the babies. All the females are going to pitch in to keep an eye on them. And they can put the group in the center of the herd if there's any danger around. We've also got one last group of antelope on the left, about halfway down the hill with the brown shaggy fur. Those are Elypsin waterbuck. Now, their fur looks a little bit shiny, and they do have oil on their fur because waterbuck are going to be running into the water to escape predators. That oil is going to make them a little bit water repellent because they run faster through the water than those predators can, and hence the name water buck. Now here at the safari park, we sit on 1,800 acres of land. About half of that's been set aside as a preserve to help out local wildlife. We can even fit our sister location, the San Diego Zoo, inside our parking lot. It's 100 acres. Now we do have a lot of different conservation projects that we work on here. One of those is going to be on the left as we're coming down the hill. These tall reeds are part of a man-made wetland system that we have created as a natural way to recycle some of the water that we use here. Now, we don't use it for any drinking water, just for watering the lawns and things like that. But that's one of the many important functions that wetlands provide. They filter the water, they clean it, and take toxins out. So especially as rivers come down to meet the ocean, having those wetlands there to clean the water is going to improve overall water quality for the greater ecosystem. Now, California used to have a lot of wetlands dotted up and down the coast. Around 90% of those wetlands are now gone, directly due to urban development, dams, and diversion of water. So that's going to have a huge impact on overall water quality. Oh, I want to point out real quick on the right, do you guys see the crows along the hillside? Look how one of them is playing out its wings. Isn't that weird? It's called sunning. Very common amongst a lot of different birds. They hold out their wings to the sun. They're going to use the heat of it to kill off any bacteria that could be growing on the feathers, especially if they just got wet. If they dived into the water, they need to dry off. So just a little interesting pose that crow was doing. But just up ahead, we've got some giraffes, including the babies we saw at the beginning. We've actually got a couple of them right up against the wall. So this giraffe right up against the wall, still looking at us, her name is Nane. She's about a year old, so she's still a baby. She's not fully done growing yet. We do have a smaller baby out towards the caravan truck. Her name is Nuru, and she's with her mother, Yamakani. Now, when a baby giraffe is born, they are already 6 feet tall. By now, Nuru, the youngest one at 6 months, she is already easily over 8, probably over 9 feet by now, compared to the size of those tiny people in that caravan truck. She's way taller than all of them. An adult giraffe is taller than the entire caravan truck itself. And I've got one more baby for you. She's lying down. She's taking a little nap in the sand. Oh, look at her all curled up. Look at how she curled herself into a little ball. Her name is Situni. And she is also 6 months old. Only a few days in between her and Nuru. Doesn't it just give your neck a little bit of an ache looking at that, though? And Nuru's coming over to check on her best friend. And no, best friend's still sleeping. Oh, no, she's not. And a group of giraffe is called tower. And they're often referred to as the watchtower of the savannah. Lots of other animals do like to hang out near them because they have great eyesight. They can see about 2 miles away, so they're going to be the ones to spot danger first. So as we're coming around the corner, we do get a look at the watering hole towards the very front of the tram. There are some antelope just on the other side of it. They got the brown shaggy fur, a little bit shiny. Those are called Defasa waterbuck. We saw their cousins earlier, the Ellipsin waterbuck, with the oil on their fur. There is a baby with them standing in the water. Now it is time for us to head back towards the station. I hope you all had a wonderful time. And thank you for coming to the safari park today. You've all become allies for wildlife. We've learned a lot today about animal adaptations and how that can help them to survive in the wild, and how certain colors and patterns can help them to camouflage. And my name is Michaela. I'll be at the front of the tram. If you have any questions, we're going to be pausing right here while we wait for the tram in front.